In this episode, I will begin by modifying some of the ships that I recently purchased. There are a lot of things to take into account when adding weapons or upgrades to different ships. There's a huge variety in Starsector, from tiny frigates all the way up to giant capital ships. Each ship has a certain number of different sized and different types of weapon slots. Some ships simply can't use certain weapons, and due to different limitations in place, they can't use weapons even that can be slotted in effectively sometimes. I'll go into this more with later ships, but I just wanted to make that misnomer early on. I also restore some of my badly damaged ships, which isn't the best use of my money, but I did make a significant amount on some trade runs that I did. I continue to look for additional ships to purchase, and I'm lucky enough to get a mission to steal another Hammerhead destroyer. I pay the fee and use my Marines to obtain it. I end up finding a similar mission later in my trade runs, and this time I'm lucky enough to obtain my first cruiser. There are much better cruisers out there, but this is my biggest ship yet, and it's huge progress. I continue to do trade runs, but I decide to take a fight and test out the new ship. I have a little trouble getting used to the slow turn speed and range at first. I quickly realized these guns will need to be upgraded at some point, as I just threw whatever was in the local area onto the ship. Sometimes that's the best plan, but you can always bring better weapons with you in your inventory to throw on new ships that you obtain. I misplay a little here, but things are fine and we mop up the enemy ships. The ship will certainly help me later, but I still want to obtain a more fun ship to play soon. I end up deciding to focus on my economy rather than pouring too much money into larger ships with ever larger crew requirements and maintenance costs. I decide to purchase a super freighter from the Sindrian Dictate. While there, I encounter a mission that will have implications on a later mission. After doing some missions and making more money, I managed to purchase a second super freighter. These ships will allow me to move huge amounts of resources and will help me with many of my goals later in the game. They will also aid me in making additional income that I can use to buy more ships and maintain my ever-growing fleet. I end up being lucky enough to find another pre-leveled captain floating around in a disabled ship on my path. I immediately recruit him and assign him to one of my better ships. I end up obtaining several other ships, including another cruiser and one of my personal favorite small ships, the Hyperion. I decide to take a fight to play around with it and give it a try. With this ship, just like some of the last, I decide early on to upgrade the weapons on it. The Hyperion, like the Wolf, has a phase ability that allows you to go wherever you point your mouse periodically in battle. It's better than the Wolf's, but it is different in a few different ways. This is my first time using one in a long time, so I definitely have not mastered it. Using them to flank and escape other ships makes it a very dangerous tool in the right hands, though. This pretty much sums up episode 2. I will see you guys in the next one.